we have a lot of people on our waiting list that are disabled. I know we talk in our community about the need for elderly housing, but we also have a tremendous need for those with special needs. The challenge for a public housing authority is modifying our existing units to meet the needs of our clients who need accommodations. And trying to retrofit can be very costly. For us, it's been averaging about $60,000 a unit. If we were able to take the accommodations needed by any resident and make those accommodations at a lower cost, it would be tremendous. It means that our clients won't have to wait.
We're at St. Johns River Apartments in Palatka, Florida. It's a 48-unit apartment complex, originally built with funding from USDA back in the early 80s. And when you talk about disabilities with mobility issues, it's always a function of money. You can search the internet and find things, but when you're dealing with a limited budget and affordable housing, you've really got to figure out how to be creative and do things to stretch your budget to accomplish as much as possible.
There are 61 million people with disabilities in the United States right now. And by 2034, 1/3 of the US population is going to be over retirement age. When you look at it, only 1% of the US housing stock is accessible or meets what we call universal design standards. And when you compare that to the number of people that have mobility issues and disabilities, the numbers just don't add up. The group I'm working with is helping contractors and real estate agents learn about housing for people with disabilities. So I was so excited when I heard about this study. I had to jump and make sure that I was going to be a part of it because it was something that I'm very passionate about.
Well, we have been tasked to try to come up with aesthetic and achievable solutions to increase accessibility in existing homes, particularly attached housing. Our team engaged a variety of expertise from the University of Florida to tackle this problem. And so we've used mixed methods research. It started with literature review and focus group investigation, continued with participatory design, and then into modeling and testing using virtual environments, and resulting in a book that should inspire teams to help improve the situation of hopefully many people.
We start with some sample floor plans that are representative of some of the housing projects that we are looking at, and we kind of try to identify what are some of the issues that the existing floor plans pose to the people who kind of will live in those houses. And we also try to identify how certain things that are available in the market can be repurposed to fit the needs of the people who will be living in those houses. So based on that, we implemented some solutions to develop redesigned housing floor plans and created the digital versions of it. And these digital versions were used to create simulations which could be experienced by people currently on like desktop computers on big screens, where they can navigate and like see how certain elements work within that housing space and figure out whether that is something that would work for them or not.
And it was interesting because they had ideas that I'd never had when I thought about doing things. So it was interesting to really look at these and be able to tear them apart and nitpick them and give somebody, especially in a construction atmosphere, ideas on where they could make changes and make things better for people like myself.
The guidebook presents our entire process, how the solutions that we present were arrived at. That means that the solutions aren't prescriptive or a one-size-fits-all. They're more of a way of approaching the problem. It provides the information in a variety of formats: text, plans, three-dimensional visualizations, architectural drawings, lists of parts, and cost information.
Having a handbook that gives illustrations and ideas of what to do, you cut the learning curve in half by saying, here's an example of something I want. So a guidebook like that can be indispensable in just helping someone figure out a more cost-effective way to make those accessibility measures.
Going forward, we want to provide a completely immersive simulation to the people so that they can experience it like they would really experience a real space. There are certain things that you can't completely perceive on a two-dimensional screen that you would when you would like walk around a space. In that case, our participants would be wearing 3D virtual reality goggles and sensor systems that we can use to like measure the physical movement of people. So having those sensor systems in place allows us to collect data and validate what the perceptions of people are. So if they feel like it's easier to interact with certain elements within their remodeled house, we also have the data to validate what their experience was.
You know, one of the things that I hope from the study that we'll get from it is that contractors and builders will have a better idea on what to do to help people like me and bring in a new norm, maybe change the building codes and bring in where we can make more houses accessible to people with disabilities.